Chosen one. Tonight, the air feels different. There's a quiet whisper moving through the unseen, warning you that not everyone smiling in your face has been sent to love you. Some were sent to study you, some were sent to drain you, and some were sent to destroy you while wearing the mask of affection. You can sense it, can't you? That strange weight that follows the compliments. The words sound sweet, but your spirit feels a tremor underneath. That's not confusion, it's discernment awakening inside you. God said your enemy is hiding under love. The one you least expect might be the one whose heart is plotting against your peace. You've been feeling this strange pull between warmth and warning, between the hug that comforts and the silence that chills your soul. That's because the enemy no longer uses open attacks. They now disguise themselves as care, concern, and loyalty. They study your softness, your mercy, your empathy, and they use it as a door. They come dressed as the answer to your loneliness, the one who understands your pain, the one who gets you. But behind that light smile, there's a shadow calculating your every step. Chosen one, your spirit already knows. The holy whisper inside you has been trying to tell you, be careful who you let close. You're not here by accident. You've been guided to this moment for a reason. Write 99 in the comments. It's time to release your wish to the universe. This message found you because heaven is trying to warn you before the trap closes. Listen closely. If your spirit woke up while listening, don't scroll away. Like this video. Subscribe now. You belong here. When you do, you align yourself with divine timing, where revelation meets protection. There's a reason your heart has been breaking away from certain people. You've been wondering, why does it hurt so much to walk away? It's because your soul felt something your mind didn't see. The enemy will never show their true face until you've given your trust, your story, your energy. That's why God is teaching you to discern, not by what people say, but by what your spirit feels when they speak. Sometimes it's not that you're paranoid, it's that your discernment is too advanced for deception to hide. You feel it in your chest. The vibration shifts. The air thickens. The warmth fades after their smile. There was a time when you believed love was always safe, but love, in the wrong hands, becomes the enemy's disguise. The enemy studies your kindness because it's your greatest weapon. They mimic your tone, mirror your emotions, and present themselves as everything you've prayed for. But look closer. Real love brings peace, not confusion. Real love heals, not manipulates. Real love gives without keeping score. Anything else is a performance designed to lower your guard. God didn't say, be afraid. He said, discern. Because fear binds you, but discernment frees you. You're not meant to run from everyone. You're meant to see through them. That's the difference between paranoia and spiritual clarity. You're evolving into a state where energy reveals truth faster than words can. So when you feel that sudden tightening in your chest while someone speaks of love, trust that. It's heaven trying to protect you. The closer you move toward your purpose, the more the enemy must disguise their attack as affection. They'll pretend they care about your healing just to reopen old wounds. They'll offer you support just to listen to your weakness. They'll speak words of faith, but move with intentions of envy. Their goal isn't your growth, it's your dependency. They want to be the one you run to so they can control when you fall. But chosen one, you were not anointed to be a puppet of false compassion. You were called to stand in truth, even if that truth isolates you from those who claim to love you. You felt it before. Those conversations that leave you empty, those hugs that steal your strength, those "I'm proud of you" phrases that somehow carry an invisible dagger. That's what it feels like when love has been weaponized. But remember, discernment doesn't destroy love. It purifies it. It filters the false from the divine. And in this season, God is stripping away every counterfeit connection so the real can finally enter. You're not losing people. You're losing access to poison disguised as comfort. There's a pattern unfolding. Pay attention to the ones who only show love when you're broken. Watch how they vanish when you rise. These are not your tribe. They are tourists in your struggle. The enemy hides under sympathy because it's the easiest way to touch your heart. They say the right things, but energy never lies. Real love doesn't drain your spirit after you leave. Real love leaves residue of peace. Chosen one, this is your wake-up call. Heaven is saying, stop confusing kindness with connection. Some people are sent to test your boundaries, not to share your destiny. You're being trained to sense hidden motives, not through logic, but through vibration. The more your light grows, the softer the enemy will speak. That's why discernment is not just spiritual, it's survival. You can't afford to let wolves wear the perfume of love and sit at your table. The time has come to reclaim your discernment, to stop explaining away your intuition. You've seen the signs, the sudden unease, the silence after your blessings, the half smiles that fade too fast. God is not exposing them to embarrass you, but to prepare you. Because once you see who's hiding under the costume of care, you'll stop begging for loyalty from those who only loved your vulnerability. This is not a message of fear, it's one of freedom. Love remains sacred, but it must be protected by wisdom. Discernment is not coldness, it's clarity. And clarity is what keeps your destiny safe from imitation. The enemy can mimic love, but they can't sustain it. Stay alert, chosen one. The next time you feel uneasy while being loved, listen. Heaven might be whispering, your enemy is hiding right there. The night is silent, but your spirit isn't. Chosen one, you can feel it again. That strange pull in the air when someone enters your life carrying sweetness that tastes slightly off. It's not paranoia. It's the subtle vibration of deception brushing against your divine frequency. The most dangerous enemy you'll ever face won't come with a sword. They'll come with soft eyes, kind words, and timing that feels heaven-sent. They'll say they understand your pain, but they study it instead. They'll say they love your light, but secretly, they crave the power it gives off. This is why discernment has become your weapon. Love is not what it looks like anymore. It's what it feels like behind closed eyes. You've noticed how some people appear just when your life starts to bloom. They appear in your DMs, in your memories, in your dreams, carrying words that sound like healing, but are meant to keep you bound. It's not coincidence, it's strategy. The enemy doesn't fight you head-on anymore. They infiltrate your emotions. They pretend to nurture your soul, only to dull your fire slowly. They want your heart, not to cherish it, but to access your energy source. This is why God keeps separating you, even when you cry for connection. He's not being cruel. He's being protective. He's removing what you think you need to show you what you truly deserve. You're not here by accident. You've been guided to this exact moment because your discernment is evolving. Write 99 in the comments. It's time to release your wish to the universe. There is energy in your words. When you declare your wish, the heavens listen. This is your alignment moment. If your heart feels heavy, speak through it. If your soul feels ready, move through it. And if your spirit woke up while listening, don't scroll away. Like this video. Subscribe now. You belong here. Your energy matters in this space. Every interaction here amplifies the frequency of light, protection, and revelation. When you connect, you're not just watching, you're activating. Chosen one, you've always been a lover of souls, a healer by nature. That's what makes you so magnetic, and also what makes you a target. You don't see people by their actions first, you see them by their potential. You love with vision. You see the brokenness inside others and believe your compassion can repair it. But some people don't want healing. They want feeding. They want to attach to your spirit until your fire burns low enough for them to feel equal again. This is not love. That is energy theft. They adore your light only because it exposes their darkness in a way that makes them feel alive. There's a pattern the enemy repeats. They start by admiring you, then slowly begin to compete with you. At first, they echo your words, share your dreams, compliment your growth, but soon they question it, challenge it, or take credit for it. That's how love turns into manipulation. That's how admiration becomes control. They begin to define love as obedience, as guilt, as silence. And before you realize it, you're apologizing for shining too bright, for growing too fast, for being too free. Chosen one, God never meant for love to make you smaller. The love that comes from Him will never ask you to dim your soul to make someone else comfortable. Discernment is not about doubting everyone. It's about recognizing alignment. When love is divine, it adds peace to your life, not anxiety. You won't feel like you're constantly auditioning for worth. You won't have to beg to be understood. You won't have to shrink your truth just to maintain their comfort. False love always demands performance. Real love gives you rest. Remember this. When you feel drained after being with someone, that's your soul whispering, you're feeding a counterfeit. But here's the truth that hurts most. Sometimes, the person hiding under love genuinely believes they care. They don't even realize they've become a vessel of envy or control. That's why discernment must be spiritual, not emotional. You can't always read motives by tone. You read them by energy. When someone's words say, "I love you," but your heart feels uneasy, trust the unease. That's the language of divine protection. That's heaven's alarm disguised as intuition. There's a reason why your circle got smaller this year. It wasn't betrayal. It was filtration. God is filtering your connections. The counterfeit cannot go where the real is being revealed. Every time you lose someone who pretended to love you, you're gaining space for what's real. Love is not supposed to drain you of your peace just to prove its existence. Love is supposed to anchor you in truth, not confusion. And yet, because of your heart, you keep giving chances. You keep hoping maybe this time it's different. You keep saying, they mean well, even when your dreams start to fade after every conversation. That's how the enemy wins, by making you feel guilty for protecting yourself, but no more. God said discernment is not cruelty, it's stewardship of your soul. Every time you say no to manipulation, heaven applauds. Every time you walk away from disguised deception, the universe rearranges in your favor. Remember this, chosen one. Love is sacred, but not everyone who offers it comes with clean hands. Some want to bless you, others want to brand you. They want to mark you with their influence so your destiny carries their fingerprint. But your calling is divine, not owned. That's why the enemy keeps sending love that demands compromise, because he knows if he can corrupt your heart, he can cancel your mission. So tonight, listen. Every fake "I love you," every manipulative "I miss you," every strategic apology, see it for what it is. The performance is ending, the masks are slipping. You're entering a new spiritual frequency where intentions can no longer hide under affection. That's why God is sharpening your sight. Because when you can finally see who's who, you won't fear losing anything ever again. You are not hard to love, chosen one. You are just hard to deceive. And that difference is what separates you from the rest. The storm is quiet now, but something in your soul still trembles. Chosen one, the battlefield has shifted. It's no longer around you. It's inside the space where love and loyalty meet. The enemy knows this. That's why they no longer come dressed as chaos. They come clothed in comfort. They come as your safe place. And that's why the pain of betrayal feels deeper than ever. It didn't come from strangers. It came from those who said, "I'm here for you." But what if I told you that this heartbreak was the tool God used to awaken your spiritual eyesight? That every false embrace was training, not tragedy? You were never meant to stay blind to love's disguises. The most deceptive form of hate is admiration mixed with envy. They can't destroy you directly, so they try to attach themselves through affection. They watch your every move, not because they care, but because your growth threatens their stillness. They say, "I'm proud of you," but their energy trembles when you win. They say, "I love how you're changing," but they secretly wish you'd stop evolving before you leave them behind. It's not that they want to see you fail, they just can't handle seeing you free. That's how the enemy hides, through soft tones, half smiles, and counterfeit care. You've probably asked yourself, why do I keep attracting the wrong people? But it's not punishment, it's preparation. Every false love you've encountered has refined your discernment. You used to fall for words, now you listen for energy. You used to believe in promises, now you watch consistency. You used to think love meant never leaving. Now you know sometimes it means walking away before your spirit dies in someone else's chaos. The version of you that once begged to be understood has now learned to understand the silence of God's protection. The enemy hides under love because love is your soft spot. It's where your light shines most purely. The enemy knows if he can twist that purity, he can drain your strength without ever raising his voice. That's why discernment has become your armor. It's not about mistrusting everyone, It's about reading vibrations, because love without discernment becomes a doorway to manipulation. It's not love that hurts you, chosen one. It's the wrong spirit wearing love's face. They'll say, I care about you, but care that controls isn't care. It's possession. They'll say, I just want to help, but help that weakens you isn't help. It's sabotage. They'll say, you can trust me, but trust without truth is slavery. You must begin to feel the difference between comfort and control, between peace and paralysis, between love that empowers and love that imprisons. True love will never require you to abandon your calling just to keep it alive. And yet, in the quiet moments, your heart still aches. Because even when your discernment is clear, your compassion mourns the illusion. You didn't just lose people. You lost possibilities. You grieve not what they were, but what they pretended to be. But here's the secret, that grief is not weakness. It's purification. Every tear you shed washes away one more illusion that tried to blind your sight. Every time your heart breaks from betrayal, it's not dying. It's recalibrating. You're learning to love with boundaries, to trust with awareness, to give without surrendering your power. This season, God isn't hiding the truth from you. He's highlighting it. That feeling of discomfort when someone new arrives, that subtle tightening in your chest when you receive a message that seems too perfect. That's not anxiety, it's discernment in motion. You've reached a spiritual altitude where energy cannot lie. The higher your frequency, the faster falsehood reveals itself. That's why some people suddenly fade away when you start shining brighter. It's not rejection, it's exposure. Their masks can't breathe in divine light. You're going to notice how silence becomes your new weapon. You won't argue, you won't explain. You'll simply see. You'll watch how those who once swore they loved you become uncomfortable when you grow peaceful. Because peace exposes manipulation. They need your chaos to feel relevant. But now, your silence is louder than their strategy. That's discernment in its purest form, not shouting the truth, but knowing it and moving accordingly. There's a moment coming soon when you'll meet someone who mirrors your light. When that happens, you'll feel the difference instantly. There will be no anxiety, no confusion, no guessing. Real love doesn't hide, it aligns. But to recognize it, you must first cleanse your perception of the counterfeit. That's why this season hurts so much. God is detoxing your heart. Every false love being stripped away is making room for divine love, the kind that doesn't manipulate your empathy but protects it. Chosen one, you've always loved deeply because you were designed to carry divine affection. But now, that love is being purified through discernment. You will no longer pour into those who drain. You will no longer confuse pity for purpose. You will no longer chase closure from people who were never meant to hold your heart. This is your sacred awakening. You are learning to love without losing yourself. The enemy's disguise is fading, and your spiritual eyes are opening wider with every heartbreak survived. You're not becoming cold. You're becoming clear. You're not losing faith. You're learning focus. And the next time someone says, I love you, your soul will no longer tremble with doubt. It will know instantly if that voice carries light or shadow. That's what discernment truly is. The ability to recognize divine love in a world full of counterfeits. The light is dim now, chosen one, and the air around you feels thick with unspoken truth. You've begun to see the faces behind the masks, the ones who said, "I love you." Now shift their tone when your blessings arrive. Their eyes flicker when you speak of dreams. Their energy drops when you talk about faith. This is the hour of revelation, the moment when God removes every disguise that once blended into your heart's kindness. It's painful, yes, but necessary. For too long, the enemy has hidden under the fragrance of love, pretending to protect what they were secretly poisoning. You can't fight what you can't see, so God decided to show you. It starts small, the strange hesitation in their voice, the subtle competition in their compliments, the way they mirror your emotions only when it benefits them. The enemy doesn't always come with hate. Sometimes they come with admiration that suffocates. They wrap their envy in empathy, their jealousy in jokes, and their manipulation in concern. But discernment is cutting through it now, sharper than ever. You no longer respond to tone. You read energy. You no longer fall for charm. You feel truth. The moment someone's love requires you to shrink, you recognize it for what it is, control disguised as care. The season you're stepping into will demand spiritual sharpness. You can no longer afford to let emotions decide what spirit you allow near. You've outgrown that level. You've become light, radiant, powerful, and targeted. The brighter you shine, the more shadows are drawn to your warmth. That's why your boundaries must become sacred ground. When someone says they love you but constantly drain your peace, you must believe their pattern, not their promises. Energy never lies. God's children don't manipulate, they uplift. But here's the truth that will set you free. Not everyone who hurt you was your enemy. Some were mirrors. Some were lessons. Some were angels in disguise sent to awaken your discernment. Every time someone betrayed you, your spirit evolved. Every wound sharpened your awareness. Every heartbreak taught you how to see beneath the surface. You were never losing. You were learning. You were learning to love with wisdom, to give with boundaries, to protect your divine peace like treasure. Chosen one, love is not blind anymore. It's guided. You're walking into a chapter where your heart and your spirit will work together, not against each other. You'll sense motives before words, feel deception before action, and recognize peace as the only true signature of divine love. God isn't making you suspicious. He's making you spiritually intelligent. That's the difference between those who fall for every "I miss you" and those who know when affection is a snare. And when you begin to live in that clarity, you'll realize something extraordinary. Discernment is not loneliness. It's safety. It's the invisible hand that keeps you from the wrong embrace. It's the whisper that says, "Step back," when the world says, "Give in." You are not being cold. You are being covered. The enemy can't hurt you anymore through love, because now you love with awareness. You discern with grace. You trust, but you verify. And every time you choose truth over emotion, heaven celebrates quietly, because you finally see the game for what it is. This is your new strength, chosen one. You don't need to expose anyone. You just need to stay in alignment. Those who are hiding under love will expose themselves the moment they realize your spirit no longer dances to their deception. Keep your peace. Keep your eyes open. The enemy has been unmasked, and from this moment forward, love will never be your weakness again. It will be your greatest form of discernment. The veil has lifted, chosen one. What once felt confusing now feels clear. You see it, the patterns, the energy, the truth beneath the sweetness. The enemy tried to wear the language of love, hoping you'd mistake attachment for destiny. But now your spirit stands awake. You've learned that love without honesty is poison, and affection without peace is camouflage. What they use to manipulate you now fuels your strength. Every false connection burned away has made your light purer, your intuition sharper, your boundaries divine. This is where discernment meets victory. You no longer beg to be seen by those who are sent to study you. You no longer chase love that only echoes back your pain. You no longer open your door to those who come with honeyed words, but venom intentions. You've become the lesson they can no longer deceive. You've turned their trap into testimony. That's why heaven is whispering now. You passed the test. Walk forward with calm authority. You don't need to prove who you are. Your energy already declares it. True love will find you because you finally stopped entertaining imitation. The enemy is powerless now, stripped of disguise. You discern too quickly, love too wisely, and guard too faithfully. Remember this: God didn't harden your heart. He refined your vision. The war under love is over. You won. And now, real love, the kind that mirrors heaven, can finally find you, unthreatened, unmasked, unafraid.